Hey, so 2 months ago, I built an app that made $2,000 of monthly profits, but then I had to stop. Not because it wasn't working anymore, but because it worked too well, actually. Making money with apps is cool, but if you don't have the right business structure, taxes will just crush you, at least in France. So I was a student running all of this through my personal account. At the rate Glow was growing, I was about to lose almost half of everything to taxes. So I had to pause the ads and create a real company in France and wait 4 weeks. Meanwhile, Glow kept making $800 organically, which is pretty cool, but sitting there doing nothing and watching money I couldn't scale was really frustrating. So here's the new challenge, a new app in a new niche and 72 hours to build it. Alright, day one. First thing I do when I'm looking for app ideas is that I simply go where successful app founders share what's working. So there are two main YouTube channels I'm watching. The first one is Superwall YouTube channel, which only talks about mobile app development. And the second one is Starter Story, which also talks about mobile apps, but sometimes about SaaS and different type of businesses. And I found this guy who built something called Pray Screen. It's that simple, it locks your phone so you can pray. That's it, and it's making real money. By looking for their competitors, I found PrayALock, which is the exact same app concept, and it makes 20k revenue per month for 20k downloads, which is also really nice. Now, my last app, Glow, was about daily affirmations, mindset stuff, but what's even stronger than affirmations? Prayers. So here's the idea, Glow, but for prayers. A prayer reminder app that helps people build a daily habit. But having an idea means nothing. You need to find good keywords before writing the first line of code. What I'm about to show you is the step most people skip, and it's the reason most apps fail. I simply use a tool called Astro to check if people will actually search for what I'm building, because your ID doesn't really matter if nobody's looking for it. So I'm looking for prayer-related keywords in my target countries. I usually just ask Claude to get some keywords to start with. Let's check those keywords. We'll select a few of them. Then you go back to Astro, you select the country you want to check the keywords for. So right now, UK. Click Add Keywords, you paste the keywords, add, and done. Astro will just ask Apple API, okay, for this specific keyword, what are the different scores for difficulty and popularity? And what we are looking for is a difficulty under 55 and a popularity above 20. Right now it's fetching all the keywords. I'm gonna wait for all of them to complete, and I'll show you how to select the best ones. As I told you, difficulty under 60, 55, and popularity above 20. Right now there is only one keyword that works with my different settings for the UK, and it's the keyword daily prayer. We can also see the apps in ranking, the different apps ranking for that specific keyword, which is daily prayer. And for those apps we can see what keywords they are using right now in the UK. Just click on the eye icon, and here are their different keywords with Bible app, prayer times UK, and so on. And we can add those keywords to our keyword list. And that's how I select keywords. So trying to find relevant keywords with difficulty not too high and popularity above 20 to get some traffic. All right, keywords validated. Now it's time to talk about the most important screens in any app. If you remember one thing from this video, remember this: 80% of the revenue is coming from the onboarding. So the onboarding flow is literally the most important part of your app to drive more revenue. That's why you have to work a lot on it and try to optimize it. Whether your paywall or the flow, try to switch orders, add new screens, remove some, and just try to iterate that way. Those two onboardings follow the best practices and they drive good money. So that's why I took inspiration from them. And both of them follow the exact same schema. First, they ask about your problems to try to really pinpoint what's your biggest pain point. Then they make you feel understood. Then they show how they'll solve your main problem. And at the end, they try to create a wow moment, something really exciting, just before showing the paywall. Now I'll show you an example. For instance, when they want to show you how they'll solve your problem that they identified in the first part of the onboarding. For instance, for the prayer app, it looks like that. I put a silly name, but yeah, they just put here the main pain point you have. So you want to put God first, let's say. And then they show you, okay, how we'll get you there, explaining you, okay, we know what's your problem, and now we're gonna show you how we'll remove this problem and actually make you someone better, bigger, stronger, faster, whatever your app does. The goal is to make your users emotionally invested in your app before they ever see a price. If you just show features and then slap a paywall, trust me, you'll get destroyed and this won't convert. This is honestly what I spend the most of my time on with people in the community. For the visual direction, I need 3 things: the color palette, app icon, and general vibe of the app. This time I just used my old code from Glow and tried to tweak it a bit with Cloud Code. So I came to this thing. I think it looks really nice. So here is my color palette. This is the dark one and the light one for dark and light theme. This is my primary color, so the color that will be used for the most important things on the screen. For instance, the button or the text here. Like the most important words that I want to highlight, I will use the primary color. And also the different icons. If I really want to show something, I use my primary color. Also a fun trick, Claude is really good at finding color palettes. So once you find your primary color, let's say, you can just ask him to find the other colors, the background color, the dark and light theme, and it works pretty well. Also, I really recommend to find a good font. For instance, I have 2 fonts here. The first one for the titles and the second one for the other type of text. I usually use Google Fonts to find the different fonts I want to use. Those fonts are free to use, which is really cool, and the library is pretty huge, so I'm pretty sure you'll find something that you like. End of day 1, the onboarding is done and it works. I spent a few hours tweaking my old app onboarding for this new app, so it wasn't that hard. I just made a few modifications, and I've made 2 different onboarding flows to have like an A/B test straight away when the app launch. I wanted to show you a few screens because I've made cool animation and I think it looks good. Oh, and also I've added haptics. That means that my phone vibrates on like specific things, for instance, when you click next or when the animation ends, and it's really easy to add, and I think it feels a bit more premium. At least I really like how it feels. So I just like explain the problem. If you downloaded the app, you probably have the problem I'm targeting. I then ask for a few questions to like know you better. I ask for your name, your age, and how much time do you spend on your phone each day, because the main goal is to tell you, okay, look, you spend lots of time on your phone. If just a bit of that time could be used to read some verses, some prayers, you could like pray a lot more. And that's what I want to show in my onboarding process. And then that's the personalization part, trying to really understand in depth my users' problems. So I ask like really detailed questions. That's pretty much it. The onboarding is quite long because I have lots of different questions, but I'm really happy with how it looks. And that's the first version, so we'll see how it works. Tomorrow I need to finish all the in-app features, so see you in the morning. Today is day 2 and the goal is to finish the whole app. I'm pretty fast because I'm using the code from my last app, which is pretty similar, and that's something you should consider, like build clean code. So if in the future you have a similar app ID, you can just take the structure and apply it to the next one. You just need to tweak a few things and add a few features, but most of the work is already done, and that could be a huge time gain. But before we start, this morning in a few minutes, I'll have a call with one of my Discord members. He's launching his first app, a photo restoration app where you upload all damaged photos from your grandma, for instance, and AI restore them. His onboarding was just showing features, pretty much here's what the app does and here's how it works, then paywall. No emotion, so we needed a wow moment before asking people to pay. Now, during the onboarding, you actually restore your first photo right there. You see the magic happen before you ever see a price. Back to my app, I planned the 4 features I want to have. The first one is notifications, because my app is a prayer reminder, so I need to send you notifications. You just set when you want to receive them and I'll send it throughout the day. You'll have like a prayer reminder telling you, okay, now you need to pray, and it opens a prayer in the app, but also famous quotes or small prayers that will be sent through notifications. The second feature is widgets. You'll have exactly like notifications, famous quotes or small prayers. Then the streak, people love to have streaks. So when you pray, you will just tick the day and your streak will grow. Pretty simple. And then the prayer history. I want to keep track of every prayer you've done. And there is like kind of a library where you can see your past prayers. As you can see, I have only 4 features and actually only one feature, which is just the reminders. And keep in mind that it's way better to do one thing but super well rather than like 5 features but all of them are pretty average. Claude Code is amazing. I spent 2 hours and a half building all the features, so let me show you what I've built. The first thing is the topics, so you can choose between types, affirmations, Bible verses, prayers and quotes. Then you have the prayer journal. So every day you will have a new prayer, and when you complete it, it will just be listed here. For instance, the daily prayer of the January 27th, so in a few days, is this one. And then the last thing is customization, so you can select different backgrounds. And let me show you what I've added. I think it looks very cool if I add like a background. I use liquid glass now for the buttons. It feels very premium. Like I really like the look it gives to the app. It's, I don't know, some people hate liquid glass, but in some cases like this one, I think it just makes the app look amazing. Here's a growth hack to get more organic traffic. Simply translate your app. That means translating the content inside the app. When you launch the app, I'm just looking for, okay, what's the phone's language? If it's English, the app is then in English. If it's Spanish, the app is in Spanish. But if it's a language that I don't have, I just default back to English. And not only the app content, but you also have to create new variants for the App Store, a new app title, a new app description, and new screenshots with the new language. That way, your app will rank not only on English keywords, but also, let's say, Spanish, French, and German keywords, which is really good and will give you actually way more traffic because now there isn't like one single keyword. There is different variants in different languages. Let me show you how it looks. I actually have a huge JSON with all the different content in my apps, and I try to keep it very organized. So there are the common words like skip, save, cancel, continue, all that kind of stuff. And then I keep it by screen name. So in the welcome screen, my title, subtitle, and button content. The main thing I have to do to have a new language on my app is simply to translate this JSON in a new language. So I just write a basic script that sends it to Claude API to translate my whole JSON. And for instance, in Portuguese, it's the exact same keys, but translated in Portuguese. Okay, so let's take my Glow app so I can show you. Here, you can actually select the different locals you want to add, so the different languages. I currently have those, but you can add more. Currently, I'm in waiting for review status, so I can't add more, but the list will be very long for you and you can add new language. And for instance, right now, this is my subtitle for the English US local. But if I want to change it to, let's say, German, now it's in German. If you're in Germany and you look for my app, those keywords will start to rank. But it's not only the case for the name and the subtitle of my app. You can also do this for the screenshots. Let me show you. So here it's my English screenshot with content written in English. But if I change it to, again, German, now it's written in German. Don't try to translate your app to all languages, only try to translate it to the main markets you want to target. And this is actually the best way to get more organic traffic and more organic downloads from all around the world. Now the part that I hate the most, which is creating the different screenshots for my App Store page. This is very important because most of your organic traffic will land on your page, but if your screenshots are very ugly, no one will just download your app. So you lose all your organic traffic. Keywords are really important. That's the top of the funnel. But then there is app icon and screenshots. You need to create something eye-catching because people will see like different apps, and when they see yours, they need to be, okay, this one looks different, let's click on it and download it. I simply use the old Figma I had from my Glow app with all the different tests that I made. And I've just took those because the features are very similar to my new Bible app, to add it and try to tweak it for my app. I then spent a few minutes chatting with Gemini to generate artwork of Jesus. Like I had probably a dozen of those, and this one looked really nice. So I added it in my first screen to make it very eye-catching. And then I used the exact same thing as my Glow app with the different text at the top and under it the iPhone screenshot with the different features. I tried to use the same fonts as in my app. So the serif font, which looks pretty cool actually on my screenshots, and the basic fonts. Again, because my app is in 3 languages, I had to create those screenshots in 3 languages. So English, Spanish to target Mexico, and Portuguese to target Brazil. I actually hate this part because it's really hard for me to create like good design. I try to keep it simple and straight to the point, but yeah, here it is. Now I just download it from Figma to upload it to Apple. All right, now payments. I use RevenueCat for that part. It just connects to Apple and tracks everything. But the most important thing is that it lets me run experiments. That means that I can test different UI, different products, different prices, different whatever I want. I just need to change it on the RevenueCat dashboard, and without updating my app, I can send this remotely to all of my users, which means that when a new user will open the app, it will download the last paywall and run the experiment. You need to try lots of different pairs, for instance, like which one works the best between weekly and yearly on the same paywall, or monthly and yearly, or only yearly. There are so much things to test, so RevenueCat comes really handy on that part. I was editing the video and this part made literally no sense. Let me explain it again. $10, like $10 in the US is not the same as $10 in Brazil. People in different countries have different purchasing power. You obviously know that. So what feels cheap in America can feel super expensive somewhere else. When you're creating a subscription in App Store Connect, Apple tries to convert your prices, usually in US dollars, automatically for the other countries. But honestly, it's not great at all. Like a $50 subscription in the US might still cost the equivalent of $40 in Brazil, which is way too much for that market. So I use this tool called Price Localize, which is an iPhone app and Mac app. And you basically set your reference price, let's say $30 in the US, and it calculates the fair prices for every country based on real purchasing power. So start price change, immediate, you select the price, so we said $30, continue. Now it's setting for the other countries, and you can actually use a party index template and follow Netflix pricing model, the exact same logic they use for their subscription worldwide. Let me show you. Use a parity index, Netflix, preview changes, and now all your prices follow the exact same ratio that Netflix uses for their subscriptions. I obviously tested this with Glow, and I started getting trials from countries I never had before, so definitely worth trying. All right, payments are done, and I've localized my monthly and yearly prices because that's the prices I want to start my A/B test with. I have one more call and then I'm off for the day, and this is the group call with everyone in the Discord. I mean, everyone who wants to join. Once a week, we just hop on and share what's going on. For instance, someone stuck on keywords, someone just hit their first $1K, someone's app got rejected for the third time. It's actually really nice to not build alone. Back to the last thing before I ship, analytics. So I use PostHog for this. I use it for two main purposes. The first one is A/B testing. So with PostHog, it's very easy to A/B test different variants, different features, depending on specific conditions. And I also use it to track everything users do in my app, like which onboarding screens they see, where they drop off, and where they tap. That's actually by sending events to PostHog from my app that I know all of that. Analytics are probably the most important thing that you need to implement in your app, because if you don't have analytics, you're just blind. You'll make decisions based on feelings instead of real data. For instance, you'll think the problem is, let's say, your paywall, but actually users, like 60% of users are living on screen 3. And if you don't know that, you're literally blind and you can't make good decisions. All right, features done, payments done, and analytics done. Tomorrow will be the day where I'll just send my whole app to app review. Today is day 3. I'm currently uploading everything to App Store Connect. This can be quite challenging the first time because you have lots of things to do, like creating the subscription, adding the metadata, the title, the different screenshots, and privacy policies, like lots of stuff. But once you've done it once, it's way easier. Once the app is submitted, we just wait. Apple usually take between 24 and 48 hours, but sometimes for the first submission, it can be a bit longer, like max 3 days. The first submission is actually the hardest because Apple really look in details to find any kind of error. Be ready to be rejected for the first submission, and that's okay. My app will probably be rejected here, but I'll get through it and resubmit until I'm approved. I've submitted the app. I think I'm gonna put a link in the video description if you want to check it out. And if you could leave a 5-star review, why not? That could really help. But here I want to talk about something really important. You see lots of people on social media claiming they went viral with one specific TikTok video and their app blew up to like 50k MRR. This is cool, but like this is not how most of the app works. You only see the top 0.001%. If you want to create something that will work without spending a lot of money, there are stuff you can optimize for free. And the best way to validate your ID for free is just what I'm gonna talk about. When you launch a new app on the App Store will give you an initial 3 days boost. So it pushes your app to people searching for your specific keywords you're trying to target, but you only get that boost. And remember this, you only get that boost if you've nailed 3 things: your keywords, your screenshots, and your app icon. That basically means maximizing the conversion from impression on the App Store to download. If any of those are wrong, the algorithm won't know who to show your app to and the boost won't work. My validation framework works in 3 steps. The first one is organic only. Please do not start with ads. Let the App Store boost do its job. If nobody downloads your keywords, screenshots, or icon aren't working, fix those first. Then the step 2, watch for trials. If people download but nobody starts a trial, your onboarding is probably broken. Go back, check your analytics and find where people drop off. Finally, watch for conversions. If people start trials but nobody pays at the end, your paywall or pricing might be wrong, or even some features aren't working properly. So you need to find what's not working. That's why analytics are very important. Only after you fix your funnel, you start spending money on ads. Otherwise, you're just paying to send people into a broken system. Think of it as a funnel, and there are leaks everywhere. So the first thing is to fix the funnel before starting spending money to drive more people into your app. Now, if the initial boost isn't enough, or if you want more free traffic to test faster, here's a trick. Create an Apple Ads account and you get $100 of free credits. Set up a campaign to the exact keywords you're trying to target and you'll get data way faster than just waiting for organic to do its job. Guys, cool update. I was about to film the outro, but actually I just received a new email from my lawyer and the business is nearly officially created. We are at the last step. My bank account is already set up. I'm so hyped. I don't know why. That's actually my 3rd business, but my first one alone. So yeah, new experience and I'm so glad that I can share all of that with you on YouTube. I don't know, I really like what I'm doing actually. But that means new things coming up, like probably starting again ads on Glow, maybe start Google Ads with Firebase on my Bible app once it's validated, and maybe like try to ship an app on Android. I'm only doing iOS apps on this channel. Why not like just make Glow but on Android? I just have to tweak a few lines and that could be really interesting to share, I think. I'm trying to create a portfolio strategy. That means that having multiple apps at let's say 2K per month. I think that's way more interesting because I'm still a tech guy and I really love the from 0 to 1, building from the ground something that doesn't even exist, but scaling from like 2 to 10 and then 10 to 50 seems less interesting. I'll obviously try it, but I rather want multiple apps that generate small income streams than one big one, because you never know what could happen if for any reason my ad account gets banned or stuff like that, like a competitor just eats all the markets. I'm just doomed. So having multiple income streams, I think, is way smarter. All right, 72 hours, the app is finally built and shipped. I think I'm gonna post this video about 1 month after publishing the app to get real data from real users and avoid a huge traffic coming from YouTube that would like fake all my onboarding data. If you're actually building an app and want to move faster, I run a community where we do this all together. There is my full roadmap, all the tools that I used, and every day we talk about our current status. Some members already have shipped multiple apps, and some of them, it's just the beginning, their first ID, first app, building from scratch. Some knows how to code, some just vibe code, so lots of different type of people. There are group calls every week about specific subjects if you want to talk about your onboarding or Apple ads or finding new keywords, but also group calls where we share where we at right now, and there is lots of value in those calls because maybe someone went through the exact same thing and could really help you. Actually, the main value of this community is through those group calls. If you're just curious, watch the videos, they are free, but if you want to build for real, link in the description. All right, go build something and see you in the next one.